You're listening to the X-Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net. Radio's authority on the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology, celebrating 25 years of broadcasting. Broadcasting around the world and to the great beyond.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. I am Rob McConnell. We're coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. We're going to be talking to a young lady this hour who was born in a small town near Hanover, Germany in 1958, where she lived with her grandparents. Her name is Kristen, and at the age of 6 years old, she left Germany with her grandmother to come to Canada so she could live with her parents who had left earlier and settled in the Toronto area. Her home was a small bungalow in a blue-collar neighborhood where she lived until she finished her school years. Now, while still in Germany, she developed a huge love for music. Kristen carried that love of music with her to Canada, where it has been remaining with her throughout the years. It was while at her first job she met Rick, who eventually became her husband. Kristen secured full-time employment with a firm in her town, and a short time thereafter, their son Danny was born. Less than 1 year later, while at work one evening, her life took a sharp turn as she suddenly became the target of an electronic attack. Her world changed in that instant, X-Zone Nation. The following day, when a massive energy made it through a window and latched onto her body. The energy was released by someone inside a limo that had been parked across the road. This is a direct result of an electromagnetic device which was used to target her all those years ago, which caused her life to change quite dramatically after she was placed under the direction of the energy that had been contained within her. Joining me now is Kristen. And Kristen, how do you pronounce your family name?
PETROSCHKE.
PETROSCHKE. All right. Kristen, welcome to the X-Zone.
Thank you.
Tell me about this. You were targeted by who?
I was, let's go back 32 years. I was working the evening shift, and I was just doing my job, and I heard voices behind me,
Mm-hmm.
and there were a couple of men. It sounded like there were a couple of men behind me, and one of them said, are you sure you want to do this to her? And the other one said, yes. And so the other one said, oh, okay. And I had no idea at the time that that something was going to be done to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, and then the following day, I just happened to be in my kitchen looking out the window, and there was a limo parked across the street. And I just kept an eye on it for a little while, as I mentioned in the book. And the next thing I knew, this force made its way through the window and latched onto me from behind. It latched onto me from behind. It was quite a large mass.
Well,
let me head to toe.
Let me ask you this. The job that you were doing, did it have anything to do with the government? Were you part of any operation? Why would you be targeted?
I really couldn't tell you. I don't know. It wasn't anything to do with the government. No, it wasn't that kind of job.
Did you report this to the police?
No.
Why?
Really, there wouldn't have been any point in telling anybody because this is something that nobody knows anything about. This is something that's strictly between the perpetrator and the victim. So there really wouldn't have been any point in telling anybody. They probably would have thought I was suffering from depression or something like that.
Okay, so let me understand.
They would have never believed me.
Okay, so let me understand this. I just want to make sure I've got the timeline right. The first attack happened while you were at work. The second attack happened to you when you were at home. You saw this car on the other side of the road. You were suspicious of it. And you've had the second attack. Now, how many attacks have you had all told?
Well, the first, that evening when I heard the voices, that wasn't actually an attack. I was being linked magnetically to a device. It was the following day that I experienced the attack.
Okay, so how many attacks have you had all told?
One. It's one thing that has stayed with me now for 32 years.
All right. Did you go and seek medical attention for your attack? Is there any way that you can collaborate your statement that this, in fact, really did happen? There's no police report. Did you go see a doctor?
No, I know.
Did you go see a doctor?
No, I didn't. No. It's something that I've been living with for the past 32 years. I've never been able to talk about it.
Okay.
At all.
If it is just a one-time event, you didn't go to the police, you didn't go to a doctor, 32 years later, you decide to tell your story. Why did it take so long? Well,
this whole thing, this whole web-based thing is actually a life management system. It has been managing my life for the last 32 years. Once it enters the body, it settles and then actually installs itself, and then it takes right over. It takes over that person's life. It takes over the thought process. It takes over everything.
But once again, I have to ask you, if it only happened once and you didn't go to the police, you haven't gone to a doctor, how do you know that this web-based, whatever it is has actually taken over your body, taken over your life? To your knowledge, is anyone else suffering from this?
Well, yes, this has been discussed numerous times, actually.
Where?
On one of the other late night shows.
Well, I'd like to get your side. I don't want to hear what happened on the other late night shows. Okay? I'm not one of those guys who do a late night show that say, ooh, ah, wow, and believe everything I'm told.
Yeah.
Okay, this is when
that's actually how I found out what was done to me. I was just living with it until I finally realized that there were other people that were living with mind control and that sort of thing, and then that's when I started to piece it all together.
All right, so you believe that this is part of mind control?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
To what end? Why would somebody want to control your mind?
That's a very good question. The only thing that was wrong with me at the time was I was 25 and I was, I wasn't, I was weak. I was shy. And I think that's why I was targeted. Because one of the messages that I received was, this builds people.
Messages received from who?
From, there's the web. That massive energy is equipped with a voice. And it talks to the person all the time.
So what other kind of messages have you been getting from this web? Are you still connected? Are you still connected to this web?
Yes, I am. It's with me as I speak to you.
So
it's been managing my life for the last 32 years.
And what does it do? How does it work? What kind of messages do you get?
How does it work?
Yeah.
Well, we should go back to the beginning. After it latched itself on, it made its way through my body,
Mm-hmm.
and then it kind of settled inside my body. And then the following evening, it installed itself. Like there was an actual installation process where it latched onto my stomach and to my heart, and then it wrapped itself around my head.
Uh-huh.
It's equipped with a program for a particular individual. It's equipped with a program and a voice.
What does it tell you to do? What instructions does it give you?
Well, it doesn't really give me instructions. It knows when I want to do something, and it reacts. It's attached to my entire system on the inside. So it it knows when I want to do something, and then it removes the will, because part of the installation was hypnosis.
Okay. So part of the installation was hypnosis. Who hypnotized you?
Well, when you're there was a pendulum that swung back and forth. That was the hypnosis portion. That took about 5 minutes or so.
Wow. Now this hypnosis, this pendulum, where did it come from? Was it within your mind's eye that you saw it? Or
it was shown. It was shown to me.
Wow. And this happened 32 years ago. Now you say it's wrapped itself around your inside. How do you know that? I mean, you didn't go to a doctor. Have you gone to doctors subsequently? Have they found something wrong with you?
No. No, nothing has ever been discovered. Nothing. It's totally undetectable.
But if it's totally undetectable, how come you can detect it?
Oh, if God forbid, if something like that happens, know. Because the first thing that it said after it entered my body was, "Let's get started." That was the first thing it said to me. And it did. The whole thing started immediately after it latched onto me. When this happens to somebody, they will know there is an impact, and you feel it, and you know.
How has this electromagnetic device hampered your life?
It totally destroyed my life. I was married at the time, and I had a 10-month-old son.
Right.
And it totally destroyed my life. I mean, I ended up getting divorced. I lost my job.
Right.
I lost everything. And I started completely anew with a new life. This has all been managed by that web.
You say the web. I'm having a problem understanding the complexity of this problem. I understand that, from what I understand, that it has entwined with your physical body. It controls.
Yes.
Okay. You're being controlled from somewhere else. Mind control, as you claimed it. To what end, though? I'm having a problem understanding why you were selected 32 years ago. What is it?
Well, I think.
No, go ahead, dear.
I think they this person had access to the device and decided to use it on me.
What has this device made you do that you would not have normally done without the device or without the control that this device places over you?
Well, I was frantic. First of all, I was extremely frantic,
Right.
as you can well imagine, and it was just a very, very scary time. I mean, I didn't know what was going on, what had been done to me. I didn't know how long I was going to be living like that. It controls my mind. I mean, it controls everything in my life. It's inside my veins.
All right, it controls your life. Have you gone to see a doctor? How is this? What steps have you taken to disperse or get rid of this within you?
I really have no way of getting rid of it. I've just had to live with it for 32 years.
But how do you know you have no way to get rid of it if you haven't gone to a doctor and explained to the doctor what has happened to you? What kind of help have you sought?
I haven't sought any help.
Why not?
It's because it's so unknown about. I mean, nobody knows about this.
But
who would believe? Who would believe it?
Well, why did you write your book?
Because I had a story, and I had to get my story out to the world. Because this has been going on for 32 years.
Yeah.
And like I said, this it's a management system, and the time has now was put aside to write a book and get the story out.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, you've written a book. You're doing the talk show circuit to try and get people to buy your book because you're not giving your book away, so you want to make money at it. But you've done nothing, from what I understand, from what you've told me, to actually get rid of this problem. When it first happened, you didn't go to the police. You didn't go to a doctor. Over the last 32 years, you haven't sought help because you think you can't. And yet now you've written a book. You want to get it out there. You want people to know about it. But what is it you want people to know about?
Well, it's all in the book. I want them to know what happened and what has been transpiring over the last 32 years. Okay. So give us some examples of what has happened over the 32 years to substantiate what you're trying to tell me. Well, it destroyed my life, the life that I had. How? And then decided to give me a new life. How did it destroy your old life, and how did it give you a new life? It knows how to push a person's buttons on the inside. It knows how to aggravate and irritate, and it knows how to push buttons on the inside. It knows how to totally aggravate a person, and it knows how to get a person to act a certain way. It can get a person very agitated very quickly, and the person ends up doing things that they normally wouldn't have done. All right, let me ask you, what has this device made you do that you would not normally would have done? Well, it turned my schedule upside down. I mean, it messed with everything that I tried to do. It knows how to remove the will to do something and create the will to do something else because of the hypnosis. As you know, if you were to go and get hypnotized to quit smoking or whatever, the ability is there to have that person quit. I mean, there is a certain amount of control with hypnosis. Okay. And that's exactly how it's been with me. But it hasn't made you do anything wrong. It hasn't made you harm anyone, has it? No, just myself. Okay. Have you gone to seek professional psychiatric or psychological help to see if
somebody within the mental health field can help validate that you've actually been subjected to this electromagnetic device and get help.
Well, there really isn't anybody that would be able to do that.
But you haven't answered my question. Wait a sec. Answer my question. Mm-hmm. Have you gone to seek help with somebody within the mental health field who would be able to help you establish what this is and possibly help you to get rid of it? Yes or no?
No, I haven't.
What?
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just trying to understand and follow the logic in this, because 32 years ago something happened. The next day something else happened. You didn't go to the police. You didn't go to the to a doctor to have any of this validated or verified. You claim that there's been a number of things happen within your life, bad, and then this force after hypnosis basically gave you a new life, and now you're writing a book. So let me ask you: has this device are there any pros to having this device, or are they all negative?
It's been extremely negative. It's been mostly negative.
Okay, so why haven't you done anything to get rid of it?
I simply haven't been able to.
Have you tried?
No, I haven't.
Why not?
Well, because it controls my mind. I mean, the control is just there. It knows what I'm thinking.
So what would happen?
It reacts to whatever I'm thinking.
So what would happen if you were to go to your local hospital and say, I want to speak to somebody, I need help? What would happen?
Well, I actually haven't thought of that. You know that?
Over 32 years, over 32 years, you haven't thought of that?
No, I haven't.
Why not? Something is missing here. Something is missing in this story. Something is missing. What am I missing?
Well, it's just something that I've been living with,
Why would you
for 32 years.
Why would you want to live with something that has, according to you, made your life hell?
I know. Go figure.
I can't.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've been doing.
And yet,
I've just been living with it for 32 years.
What would you want to change?
I want it to be out of my life. I want it to go away. But I just don't see how anybody would be able to help me with that. So I've just been living with it for 32 years.
Are you working now?
I have to wait for it to go dormant.
Okay. Are you working now?
No.
Okay. The last time you worked, did it interfere with your working?
No, it didn't.
Okay. So when was the last time it interrupted your life?
It interrupts my life every day. Really, if you want to,
Okay, how does it interrupt?
It does. It interferes with. It interferes with at certain points of the day, during the day.
How?
With things that I want to do.
Such as?
Oh, just cleaning and getting things done. I mean, I want to do things a certain way, and it has its own idea of how things are to be done.
Okay.
So it interferes with cleaning, laundry, anything that I want to do. It just knows how to prevent me from doing that.
How do you support yourself?
Oh, I clean a few houses.
Okay. And does it disrupt you when you clean other people's houses?
No.
Why not?
That's a good question.
Have you?
It doesn't. Everything takes place when I'm here, when I'm at home, and when I'm by myself.
So you're at home alone?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have friends?
Not really. Because, as I said, there's so much control. It's just extremely difficult to it's just been a very difficult time.
So it totally controls you when you're alone.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're going downtown and you're shopping, or you go to the shopping center, you're on the bus, or if you're at a train station, or you're away from the house, it doesn't bother you?
No, not when I'm in public. No,
really?
Absolutely not. Only when I'm by myself. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking. When it comes to what you do and this feeling, can we call it a possession? Do you feel possessed by this power?
You know what? It actually is very similar to a possession, only that's not what it is.
How do you know?
But it's because I wouldn't be alive anymore if it was a real possession.
Oh, that's where you're wrong, my dear. That's where
Really?
you're wrong. Yeah, possession doesn't mean at the end of one's life. Possession can take many forms. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm saying that you should talk to somebody, a professional, about what you're going through, what you're feeling. You know what? You're a beautiful person. You deserve to be happy, no matter if you're at home or if you're at work. Don't you think you deserve to be happy?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So why don't you go and ask a professional to help you get rid of whatever it is that is possessing you or inhabiting you?
It's not a possession. It's this case strictly came out of a device. This is not a possession.
All right. Well, I'm calling it a possession because whether it's an electromagnetic device or whatever, it is possessing you. It from what I understand, it has taken over you. Am I right?
It has. Okay. Right.
All right. So that's.
But it isn't. It is not. It's not a typical possession.
Okay.
Because that I would be able to get help with.
Well, yeah, I believe that if you sought help for what this is, you could also get help. But if you're not going to go out to get the help, if you think that there is no help, then there won't be any help. But if you put the effort into going and seeking the help, then I'm sure you'd find it. But I don't, like I said, I don't understand why you haven't gone to get help, why you haven't gone to a doctor, why you haven't done something to get rid of this.
This whole, have you heard of electromagnetic devices?
Sure.
Direct energy devices?
Yep.
Okay, so you know about them.
Sure, but as far as I can see, you don't fit the profile.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm not sure, but from what I've seen and what I've heard and the guests I've spoken to on this show, you don't fit the profile.
Well, this is definitely an attack from a device.
How do you know?
Definitely.
How do you know?
Because it's a very controlled craziness. It's a very controlled system.
All right, so
it's not your usual with the bed shaking and all that.
No.
This is very, very different.
Okay. All right, how is it different? How is it different? I'm having a problem understanding. So tell me, how is it different? How do you let's say something was to trigger it right now? How would you know that this device has turned on and that it's going to start to control you?
There's like a laser beam light, like a laser beam on the inside, and if it was getting ready to do something, I would know. Mm-hmm.
How do you feel?
Yeah, that's what happens.
Okay, so how do you feel? Like, do you get tingly? Do you get a headache? Do you hear a high pitched noise? Do you feel staticky?
No, everything takes place on the inside of the body. It knows how to pinpoint various areas,
right?
And that's how it targets.
Wow. And and how many of these attacks do you have a day, or a week, or a month?
Well, there's actually been a slight improvement. Right now, there are only a couple a day.
Wow!
But they do last quite a while. They do last a couple of hours.
So when you're having these attacks, what do you do? How do you cope with them?
Oh, it's extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I just.
Go on.
Yeah, it's extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult. I just get through it as best I can.
So do you just have to sit down and grin and bear it?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Wow.
That's it.
So
that's the only thing I can do.
Mm-hmm. So when you're having these attacks, do you hear what this device wants you to do?
Oh, I know what it wants me to do. It's in my veins. It's along with the hypnosis and the fact that it's inside of me, and inside in my veins.
Right.
Oh yeah, I do know what it wants me to do. It reacts to different things that I want to do.
What would you want to do that would bring on one of these device attacks?
There's nothing that I would never want to bring something like that on.
But what would do it typically? Because I'm sure that when you think about doing it, you realize that if you do it, an attack is going to come on, right?
Right. But I still try to carry on with what I need to do. And if it decides that whatever I want to do isn't going to happen, then it doesn't happen.
So what do you think happens that whatever this device turns on when you're at home doesn't turn on when you're away from home?
Mm-hmm. That's because it knows where I am. I mean, it does. There is that knowledge that person has to make a living. It's programmed energy. It's extremely difficult to explain. I mean, I didn't know myself until last year what it actually was. I mean, I had a regular life like everybody else.
Last year.
That's when I figured out what was actually done to me. When I started hearing people talk about on the radio about devices and mind control and all these things that are being done to people, that's when I finally realized, oh, that's what was done to me. That's what was done to me. So that's when I finally realized it last year, after living with it for 31 years. I mean, I was living like all the other women. I mean, I worked Monday to Friday, shopped on Saturdays, and did my laundry on Sundays. I mean, it was a very regular life until this was done to me.
So you haven't had a regular life for 31 years?
That's right. That's right. No normal life whatsoever.
Huh.
Yeah.
So why don't you go and try and get help?
Well, as I've been pointing out a couple of times anyway, there's really no point. I mean, these people are put down to suffering from depression, and they would just say, oh, you depression, why don't you go get some help? Just like what you're saying to me.
What I'm saying to you is that you are saying that something has taken over your body, an electromagnetic device. If this is the fact, then a crime has been committed. The fact that you do not want to do anything about it makes it very suspicious.
Really?
Really? The only thing you've done is written a book, and
Right.
instead of seeking help. Now, is writing the book your way of trying to get help?
No, absolutely not. But, I hear people complain, saying, oh, it's been 3 years since I've had a vacation and things like this. And nobody has any inkling as to what's been going on with me. And I hear people complain, and I thought, I have to write about this. I have to write about what was done to me. And that's it. I have to get the story out.
Every author has a reason for writing, and they hope that a reader will come away with a lesson. What is the lesson that you would like your readers to come away with after they read your book?
Well, I want people to appreciate their freedom that they have, because they're free to do as they please, which some of us aren't. So I think that people need to, I would like people to appreciate their freedom and just enjoy life.
All right, I want to thank you, Christy, for joining us. We have to go right now. Exo Nation, if you'd like to get more information, give me a sec here. I will get the website
By the way,
for you. It is www. Where the heck is it? We don't have a website. Why does that surprise me? But her book apparently is available on Amazon. Something doesn't add up with this whole story. What's that, Craig? Yep, another one bites the dust. I am sorry. I am really sorry, Exo Nation, but when it doesn't make sense, if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, swims like a duck, then guess what? It is a duck. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break as I try and gather my wits. Right here on the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.